Jasiewicz Golf Sequence. Here is my old golf swing. It's pretty bad. And here is my new golf swing, the stock 7. Here's me swinging as hard as humanly possible. This 250 yard 7 iron. And yes, it is Denver elevation where the ball goes a little bit further, but 250 yard 7 iron, geez. I'm not going to talk too much about grip, but we want to make sure that there's no gap in between our thumb and our hand. That's for both hands. It puts your club in a much better place. If you do an interlock grip, make sure the webs are not touching on your hands. We want to have them slid back a little bit, and that's going to work much better for most people. And then our right wrist, we want it to hang, which is going to be the opposite of being cocked. And we just let it hang loose, and that shows us how close to stand to the ball, how much to bend our knees, etc. First feel. We do not want to swing down at the ball. This creates an over-the-top swing, and it's going to cause a lot of slices. Instead of swinging down at the ball, we want to swing up at the ball, and this is going to give you an inside-outside swing, which is going to help you hit it straight or hit that little draw you want. As you can see, I'm swinging up at the ball. And then here's the side-by-side. Watch it a few times if you don't see the difference, because this is really important. We want to do a natural swing up at the ball and use our big body movements. This is the first feel that we want to feel. This is the engine that drives the golf swing. So when we swing up at the ball, we want to make sure that we finish with our right shoulder as high as possible. This ensures that we're getting a full body turn and a full finish. So when you learn how to swing up at the ball, just try to finish like that. Shoulder surge. If I try to throw a golf club as far as I can, you'll notice, you can try it too, your left leg will go in front of your body, and then your left hip will go away from the ball. And of course we can't do this in a golf swing because our legs are stationary, so the way for a golf swing to do it is we're going to really stick that left knee out on the backswing and then pull that left hip away from the ball. And if we do it right, you really get a ton of power. If you do it wrong with the right hip towards the ball, see how the club doesn't swing out? You're going to get no power. So that left hip goes away and then the club really swings out. And you're going to feel that transfer of energy. So this is really important. We want to do the first feel. We want to make sure that we land backwards and that our left hip really pulls away from the ball. And we can try this at home. Just swing your left arm, your lead arm back and forth. And as that left hip goes back, you will see that your lead arm swings away from the body. It almost goes up because you're putting so much power into it. So make sure you can do this. This is extremely important. Same move as the first feel, but make sure you get those hips back. And we're really just trying to get all that power into our shoulders. It doesn't matter how fast your hips move if you don't get it into your shoulders. So you'll see here I'm landing backwards, and that's transferring all the energy into my shoulders. All the energy needs to release into the shoulders so it can release into the arms, hands, and club. So if we're going to pull on a doorknob, we're not going to pull with our hips open. When we pull on it, it's going to close our hips. This is closed hips right here. That's how we want it to feel. And that's how we engage our shoulders so that we have maximum power from our body go into our shoulders. Like I said, it doesn't matter how fast you turn your hips if it doesn't go into your shoulders. So it can go into other parts of your swing. The point of using your body is really just to try to get your shoulders turning as fast as possible. So when we land backwards, you're going to see that that's when the club kind of cocks at the top. You can just practice doing this over and over again. Obviously, this is super exaggerated, but this is the feel you want so you can get your hips to get energy to your shoulders. So slow motion, I land backwards, and then I pull that left hip backwards, and it swings the club around. This is something you can practice anywhere. You don't have to do a full swing, obviously. That rotation just comes around the shoulders. If you look on the left side of the screen, you can just really watch how the shoulders come through as this big triangle, and the shoulders are the biggest part of the swing. You'll notice that all pros look like that. It's going to make it way more powerful, and you're going to be way more consistent. And this is really the point in the golf swing. When you can learn how to transfer your energy to your shoulders, you're going to start compressing the ball super good every single time. This is what makes golf fun. So learn how to do this. Auto slot. So this is lag, and then this is slot. So right here is slot, and then there's opposite when you put your club down towards the ground in front of you. There's not really a name for that. We're just going to call it opposite of slot, op slot. So when I grab my golf club, I like to bow my left wrist as much as possible, and I like to line up the angle of the club face to my bowed wrist, because when I'm swinging into the ball, I try to keep the left wrist bowed so I get shaft lean. So I need to make sure the club head is squared up at impact with the bowed wrist. The main part of getting into op slot is your left arm rotating in this direction, and when you bring the club down to the ball, you will notice that the toe of the club is facing towards the target. We need to hold our left arm in this position while rotating our wrist so the club face squares up to the ball. During the whole swing, and especially the backswing, rotate your right arm in this direction. This will keep you in the op slot structure. Why line up an address in op slot? Because if you're maxed out in op slot, then the club has nowhere else to go other than drop into the slot. As you can see here, when you drop the right elbow to start the downswing, it will rotate the right arm and cause you to naturally drop into the slot. This is the big body movement way to drop into the slot. Sure, your wrist can help you at the top and aid you dropping into the slot, but by primarily using the right elbow, you will be much more consistent and powerful. And you will feel it cock into the slot. The slot is a power move, and when done correctly, you won't have to worry about lag. Lag is built into this auto slot move. After mastering these 3 simple steps, the most important part of your golf swing, the foundation, will be locked in. Yes, there is more to cover, like how to thrust your hips correctly, where your head should be, and how to make that happen, etc. That's why there will be part 2 and 3 and so on. But don't let that fool you. This video explains how to build a fundamentally solid swing so that you will be ready for future parts. If you lock in what you learn here, you'll be on a direct path to shooting in the 70s and 80s, even if you still haven't broken 90. If you're not completely obsessed with golf, then this might be the only video you need, so do not take it lightly. Like and subscribe. Cheers.